So today we are going to work with an Acess 2010 project, and what this gives us the ability to do is not only to connect to a SQL 2008 server database, but we want to create a stored procedure and we want to make some modification to the database objects that are actually stored on the SQL server. So what we want to do right now is that we want to go to Microsoft Access 2010. And we just want to get to it right here. Right, so I've already set up my SQL Server 2008. I've already attached a database to it. So I'm going to go in this area here. And instead of it being this type of file, I want it to be a different file type. So what I'm just going to do is that I'm going to come across to this side here. And I'm going to name my file. I want it to be an ADP file. I'm just going to change the name. Right. So I've changed my file name. I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to click on create right here. And as you see, there's a dialog that comes up. And I'm going to click on yes, because what I want to do is that I want to actually connect to the SQL Server machine. Right. So we have some information here. And what we're going to do right now, we're just going to click this drop down. And it's actually making a connection to my machine. So I select that there. In terms of authentication, you have different choices, but what I am going to do is I'm going to use Windows NT Integrated Security in this case, and I want to select a database. So let's click the drop down and let's have a look at what databases that we can actually select. I have the Northwind database. That was one of the databases that I attached, and I would like to test the connection. The connection was successful, and I'm going to go OK, and we're going to have the pulling of the data so that I can create a stored procedure from that. Because what we would like to do is that we would like to make changes and do some querying, have some fun. Okay, so as you see on this side here, you're seeing some of the data that we can work with, right? And we'd like to create a stored procedure. So we're going to create, and then on this side here we see stored procedure. So we're going to click on that, and I'm just going to go to this customers table because I would like to add that one to my stored procedure. As you see, it comes up in the background. I'm just going to close this here. Right. So at this point in time, what I can do is that I can actually select. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm making some selections here in my stored procedure, so I can be able to access them and make some choices. So you see down on this side as they're selected. Right, but what I want to do actually is that I want to be able to make a stored procedure that is going to make a change to this particular attribute here, which is city. And I'm going to go in the criteria column, and I'm just going to put in a question mark. and that changed it to equal sign at param1, and we need to do that. So let's right click on the area here because we want to access the actual properties of this procedure. And this is when we're going to get to the cool part right here. Right, so I would like to output all columns in this here. We're in the stored procedures tab at the moment, but we could also go to the stored procedure parameters tab, and we see or at param1, right? So that has been actually set and hard coded. We can go to data and we can make some other changes there. So let's go actually back to the stored procedures parameters. I'm going to put burn, right? So I have some flexibility here to actually hard code a value of burn. Right, so I'm going to go back here. Right, so everything seems to be cool. Right, and I'll just close it. And we want to save the stored procedure. Okay, so it has been saved. Right, and I named it burn. So I can right click it. And you see there are different views that I can use. I can go to the SQL view. And I'm actually seeing the code there that was made when the stored procedure was created. I can run the stored procedure. See the results. I can again check the properties of my procedure. I could remove the default parameter. Let's see what will happen if I try to run the stored procedure now. Asks me to save the procedure. Yes, I want to save. And it asks me the particular parameter that I need to find out information about in terms of the particular city. Because remember, that's what we wanted to find out. We wanted to find out in terms of the city customer information. So instead of burn this time, let's put in London. Right, and as I've seen here, this is the information in terms of the city for London. So we've been successful in terms of making a parameter for a stored procedure, connecting to a SQL Server 2008 database, and making some modifications. And we can also, just for fun, we could actually go into the SQL 2008 database and we can see how it looks there. So that's what we'll actually do now. We'll go to SQL Server 2008. We'll go to the Management Studio. And of course, we'll have to connect to the instance. Right, and let's actually go into our databases. Okay, we want to check out the Northwind database because that's what we connected to. Okay, and we want to go to programmability, and we want to check out to see if the stored procedure that we created was actually there. Hey, there is. Boom. There it is, and we actually can see have a parameter there, right? So we have been successful in making a change and seeing that actual database object being reflected in the SQL 2008 database. Thanks very much for watching this video.